Have you or a loved one been affected by pignosis? Symptoms include blaming the controller, banning your own viewers, and saying, that's impossible 47 times a stream. However, there is hope. Welcome to Duty Streams, the internet's premier center for DSP analysis, memes, and emergency anti-pignosis treatment. We expose the cope, we study the salt, and we ask the hard questions. Did the game really screw him, or was it just another skill issue? Subscribe to Duty Streams today, because pignosis spreads fast, but laughter spreads faster.
Oh, excuse me. JJ Naysay, an 11 euro super chat, says, you can say you want to collab with Kino Casino to get a new audience, and then you can say you don't need growth, you don't need to do toxic content, but it can't be both. Huh? What? I have no idea what that means. If you can rephrase, okay, but all I'll say is, here was the problem of what had happened, okay? Because so many people had eternally stolen my content and had literally sniped all of my content nonstop, it was impossible. It was literally impossible for me to get any new viewership for a very long time, okay, if that makes sense. I was lost in the algorithm because anyone who looked for DSP literally just found detractor content, okay? And because of that, it was absolutely impossible for me to have any kind of growth or increase of income. I was stuck. For years, I was just drifting at the same level, and there was absolutely nothing that I could do about it. So I said, I have to do something drastic and different. And I did. I collabed with them. I reached out to them. I orchestrated the entire thing. Behind the scenes, I was pulling their fucking strings every moment, and they had no idea. I led them exactly to where I wanted it to go. And then as soon as I saw that it wasn't benefiting me anymore and they had no ideas for me because they were brain dead, stupid idiots, I cut the cord. So I got massive exposure on a totally new level to a whole group of new people. I got a ton of extra support. That support allowed me to upgrade my setup, to become a PC gamer, to do all kinds of new kind of content that I couldn't do before. I branched out. I reached out. All kinds of people now knew who DSP was who never did. And the rest is history. Since then, I've been good. I don't need to collab or do anything. And every once in a while, maybe I do. Maybe I have an Asmongold interview, right? Or I jump on with Wings and we have a talk. And it goes really well. And now, like I said, now I implement new things. The TCG stuff for 3 months has been great. And it just keeps moving, that momentum. All I literally needed was that one moment of exposure that I couldn't get because of thieves. And now all that's over and I'm good. Simple as that. So I don't know exactly what you're trying to say, but I'm good now. I know, Madamus. He said, it's still hard to find the live streams. I watch 2 times a day. It's never on the front page like all other lives are. I always have to search for your page to watch. I'm well aware. It's because of the age of my channel. When you get to a certain age and your channel hasn't exponentially grown, it basically gets lost. YouTube actually has things that makes older channels not get found. I'm serious. They've coded it so that new content always shows up and old content or legacy channels like mine get buried. So there's nothing that can be done about that. I've done everything I can, right? I've pushed, I've tried to rename, I've tried, it was hilarious because I'll give you an example. You ready for this? So many years ago, I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes here. Mike Klum and I were talking about this documentary, okay? And one of the things that he actually had wanted to do, which I didn't think was a very good idea anyway, but he thought what we should do for this documentary is have how can I say? There was a idea where he was going to try to coach me on how to improve my YouTube channel. He was going to say, do custom thumbnails for every video. Use a catchy title. Use the title first. Before you put this game, gameplay part, whatever, it should say, exciting, catchy thing. And then this game, gameplay through part, whatever. You have to put the catchy thing first. You have to put it on the thumbnail, right? You have to do it this way, that way. So basically, since we broke that was like 2-3 years ago. I don't even remember anymore. Since we said we're not going to do that, right? I literally tried to implement all of those things. I now have custom thumbnails. I now have catchy titles on every video. I have actual edited content that I've put out. And guess what? Has the channel blown up? Has the channel exploded? No, because none of that's going to matter. When you have an entire internet that A-logs you unfairly, that doesn't actually put you in real context, that just wants to say everything you do is wrong, it doesn't matter if all you're doing is in line with the rest of the industry or even exceeds the rest of the industry, right? People have even said my card unpackings are actually better than most other people's. The quality of having the camera here and everything and the way I do it, it's actually better than a lot of other people's who do it professionally. So why is it when I open a God pack of cards, I only get 3,000 views? Because I'm Darkside Phil. And immediately the positive that everyone else would be freaking out about, oh my God, so-and-so pulled a God pack, becomes, oh, DSP got it? Well, it must be fake. He's an asshole. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter how much I improve myself if the internet is so demented and so stupid that they don't care. They're just going to say that I did the wrong thing anyway. So who gives a fuck, right? Instead, I'm going to focus on those that do care. I'm going to make content for those that will support it. And that's going to be where I'm going to find my success. It's not going to be copying everybody else, going by industry standard, changing like that. None of that matters. My streams will forever be buried. I'll never be able to get prominent feature on YouTube. It will never happen, right? Just because so many people have found profitability in A-logging me, I will never actually benefit from the same things that everybody else does. Anyone else would have pulled a God pack and immediately would have had 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 views. I got 3,000 because everyone stole the video. Everyone said it was fake, even though it's not. Everyone has to say the negative thing about DSP, so no one cares about positivity. And therefore, when Keemstar says, well, because you're known as a lol cow, you know, the only way you'll profit is from the negativity, so you should buy into it. He's right. Keemstar's right. It doesn't matter how many positive things I do, I'll never benefit from them. I could cure cancer, single-handedly fight off an alien invasion, and then as a meteor is about to strike the Earth and destroy the planet, I could punch it and shatter it into a million pieces, saving every human, and people would still say, yeah, but he snorted when he did it. Ha, ha, ha.
Hello, Drew.
So instead of focusing on that bullshit, I'll just do what I like, and I'll try to entertain an audience that does care, and I'll stay in my lane. And that's what I've done, and it's actually going really well for me. Okay, so I hope you understand that. Like, everything's going pretty darn good right now as a result. Someone tipped $2 and said, as a husband, I would never let someone make fun of my wife for any kind of gain. And you notice that's when I left, right? You notice that that was what the straw that broke the camel's back is, you know, you can joke every once in a while, or you could take it to a certain extent. But when you take it too far, and that's literally what broke the relationship, is Ashton is mentally deficient. I do actually believe that he's probably autistic. He doesn't understand social norms. He doesn't understand why wouldn't you just allow someone to insult your wife constantly for money? I don't understand. I would, right? That's what he would say. So he doesn't get it, okay? He just doesn't understand there's a line you don't cross. And I'm willing to work with them, and I'm willing to do a certain amount, but there's a line. And the line was, you're not going to sit here and insult my wife or family that have nothing to do with my content. And to them, that's like, well, I don't understand. Nothing's off limits. Yes, it is. Normal people would always tell you there's stuff that's off limits, but they're not normal. They're fucking weirdos. They're degenerates. They're really broken, vile people. So to them, oh, well, we're just going to keep doing it. Well, fuck you then. Cut the cord. I'm good. I already got what I wanted out of this. You guys don't have any ideas. You're morons anyway. So get the fuck out. And I did, and it worked. Okay?